Yeah. Yeah, thank you for Anna and her team to present today. And today, their topic is Autism VR. So yeah, so let's switch to their presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dominic. I'd like to thank Dominic for this opportunity that you gave me and the team, Autism VR, to actually talk about autism and virtual reality and what we've been doing the last 5 months with the new virtual reality channel. I'm a fan of Dominic's events, so I've been attending most of them, and I know that all the speakers and all the events are really been essential to understanding technology in various fields of our life. My name is Anna Tsigu, and me and another 5 members, we decided to set up a virtual reality channel on which we run virtual reality events with autistic people and for autistic people and with autism communities. So our whole target is actually more about who we are and what we've been doing up to now. It's up to Vivi.
Okay, so hello
Vivi,
everyone.
can you take over? Yeah.
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Go ahead. Okay, excellent, thank you.
Yes, we can.
Hi everyone, thank you Dominic for having us, and thank you for hosting. It's a great opportunity to be able to talk to people about the Autism VR channel. My name is Dr. Paraskevi Triantafyllopoulou, and I am a lecturer in clinical psychology of intellectual and developmental disabilities in the University of Kent at the Tizard Centre. So just a bit of the background, just for people to know, to get to know who we are, or who I am that I'll be talking to you. My background is psychology, and my research interests, they are around health research and interventions around health, and I'm looking at both intellectual and developmental disabilities, so including autism. So I'm looking at sleep research, sleep interventions, cancer research, psychological interventions, dementia, education, Tourette syndrome, online safety, cybercrime, cyberbullying, social media, and as you can imagine, virtual reality. So as you can see, there's a lot that so it's a more holistically that we look at that population really. And I'm also involved in a lot of consultancy, so I'm running autism assessments, I do sleep assessments, training, psychological training, mindfulness, spell training. I'm independent reviewer of services, but also assessing the needs of autistic individuals and people with intellectual disabilities. So that's me in a nutshell, just to know who you're talking to. What we thought that it would be a really good idea is actually, because we were not sure if people would be familiar with autism. So we thought they would be good way to introduce things and to explain to begin with what autism is. So apologies if people are familiar with the term. It's just that because the audience is very wide. So the word autistic and autism, it came from the Greek word aftos, which means self. And it was first described by Kanner in 1943 as infantile autism, and then later on by Asperger's in 1944, who described individuals with similarities really to Kanner's autism. However, he also identified some additional abilities in the average or even superior range. So they both described individuals with impairments in social interaction, in communication, and imagination, with a narrow repetitive pattern in activities, and this was later recognized as a triad of impairments by Lorna Wing. So in order for someone to get a diagnosis of autism, DSM-5 shows that it needs to have persistent deficits in social communication, in social interaction, some restricted and repetitive patterns of behavior, repetitive interests. The symptoms, they need to be present in early development. So we're looking at that age between 4 to 5 years of age. And the symptoms need to be causing clinically significant impairment in social, in occupations, or other important areas of functioning for the person, really. Okay, just moving on. So I just wanted to talk about the impact of autism in the individuals. So you would expect to see that there's some communication difficulties, that there's some intense interests, and however, there's also high order skills in specific areas, and there's also some repetitiveness, some hypo or hypersensitivity into sensory processing. There are high levels of personal stress, high levels of anxiety most of the times. There's a denial of opportunities and rights due to perception as different. So people are often bullied, autistic people are often bullied. There's a risk of being misunderstood or treated as mentally ill, and there's a risk of social isolation. So just to explain things a bit more, when we're talking about communication, communication is not the same as speech. So when we're talking about the social use of speech, so talking about how people express themselves or how people chit-chat and have initial conversations. So there's a difference between expressive language, so what is said, and repetitive language, so what is understood. And there's issues with the processing of language, so the processing may be slower or more difficult for autistic individuals. And there's difficulties in initiating those interactions, that small talk, but also difficulties using and understanding really the facial expressions, the gestures, the tone of voice, and also difficulties with understanding social context, jokes, sarcasm. There's some difficulties with pronouns and abstract concepts. Some common phrases and sayings, metaphors that they're literally understood. Is that literal understanding with so there's a precision of language. So if you tell someone, oh, I'll do that in a minute, it will start counting a minute for you to do what you've said that you're going to do. And there's also problems with the gaze. So apart from the communication, there's special interests and repetitive behavior. So this special interest may be intense, and so someone might be having a special interest in trains, or I don't know, with dinosaurs if it's a child, or even like a very specific concept, and it can be absorbing to the point where the person is not thinking of anything else, and that could be very good at some point and sometimes, but also not as good at others. There's a preference for sameness and a preference for predictability. So the person might have difficulties with unexpected changes and might find it difficult to shift attention to a new task. And there's perfectionism, so wanting to do very well in everything. There's also a range of repetitive behaviors, including speech patterns. So and in terms of the sensory, the hyper sensitivity and hyposensitivity, So there might be issues with oversensitivity, so being overly sensitive to sensory stimuli, or being under-sensitive, so not being as sensitive. Other features and strengths, autistic individuals, most of the times they have an uneven profile, as we call it. So talking about all the difficulties, there are also many strengths. So it's the same way as some people might be very good at maths, but not as good in literature. Is the same thing. We're not all good at everything, and autistic individuals can be exceptional. They can have some exceptional skills in some subjects. They have very good visual and factual memory, majority of them, and they're very able to focus on detail, and on detail that neurotypicals might not catch it. So there's a strong preference for the logical and the accurate, and the presence or absence of speech is not an indicator of their ability. So as we said, communication is not just the verbal communication. Just to put it out there, I wanted to talk about the prevalence, and so it's estimated the prevalence globally to be about 6 per 1,000 children. However, Williams has estimated that the global figures have increased over time, and these varies with geographical location, and probably because of diagnostic criteria and the age of individuals diagnosed, but also with the fact that we're getting better at recognizing autism. Like autistic individuals and males and females. So we're still learning about autism. In the UK, it's estimated that 1.1% of the UK population may have autism. But again, as I said, we are still learning. So over to you, Anna, if you would like to talk a bit about the virtual reality and autistic individuals.
Thank you, Vivi, thank you. Okay, so as I said beforehand, we're trying to merge immersive technologies and autism. First, we need to clarify what virtual reality is, because recently there has been a lot of debate on that. So virtual reality, according to literature, it would be anything immersive in terms of seeing something in 3D on your laptop, or on your 2D desktop computer, or on a VR headset. All of these are virtual reality experiences. So in terms of other earlier like attempts to use virtual reality was the computer-based instruction, or otherwise CBI, using the acronym. So computer-based instruction has been used for many years at schools, at special clinics, and the results are that it improves cognitive skills like attention and spatial skills, and of course social communication skills, greeting, getting to know other people, and in those kind of instructions, specific social story scenarios have been used. So virtual reality in the sense of watching or attending a 3D event or experience on your laptop or on a headset has come quite recent, in the last 20 to 30 years. So there has been quite extensive research in terms of virtual reality and autistic populations, both children and adults, in terms of training skills. So virtual reality has led to long-lasting positive results in populations affected with psychological, psychiatric, behavioral disorders, and neurodevelopmental disorders, such as including individuals on the spectrum, ADHD, or learning difficulties. And another reason why we should use virtual reality is that we can synchronize together either many desktop computers or laptops, or virtual reality headsets. For example, you can apply, you can use an application or an experience to spatial needs school setting as a psychotherapeutic tool for children that actually share the same type of disorders. Could you please change the slide, Vivi?
Yeah.
A couple of other reasons why to use virtual reality with autistic people are, first, that VR tasks have proven to be extremely appealing to autistic people. And we can see that both their self-confidence and their self-esteem have been elevated. So having great self-confidence and self-esteem, of course, it's something that anyone wants to feel, you know, to feel this. And this is part of a more generalized improvement in our own well-being. And the last reason is that there has been noticed, even to a small extent, that social communication, attention span skills can be transferable to real life. Of course, this needs great research and greater depth, because this is actually one of the hallmarks of research up to now: generalization from a virtual reality scenario to real life, to greater contexts or situations. And this is something that I think researchers recently have been trying a lot to tackle. So there have been many platforms the last years, many virtual reality platforms that host events. One of them is AltspaceVR, others are Engage. We even going back, we had the Second Life platform, quite an old one, still in use, a 2D platform. We have Mozilla Hubs. We have Facebook Horizons. Quite recently, they are not released yet. So there are a lot. We made research and we really analyzed all the specifications of each platform, all the affordances that each platform can offer specifically to autistic populations. And we decided that AltspaceVR would be the most suitable for now. So some of the reasons why AltspaceVR would be a suitable platform are that it is easily accessible onto the desktop computer or laptop. Of course, Macs are excluded for the time being. Allspace have announced that in the next 2 to 3 months, Allspace will be compatible with Macs. And of course, you can access this platform using a virtual reality headset. Second, they've got a very robust ethics code where bullying, trolling, and any other type of inappropriate behavior, they are banned. There's also a variety of events to attend. I mean, this is only one channel we offer autistic people, but there you can attend anything from a virtual concert to actually a workshop on art and craft. And also in terms of how much you can keep your privacy is that you can have your personal space bubble and you can mute or block other avatars. Above all, we have to bear in mind that behind each avatar, there is a real person with their own feelings and mindsets. And this is very important in the sense that you cannot insult, you cannot behave inappropriately to another avatar, because actually it's as if you are behaving inappropriately to another person, a real person. So some good things about AltspaceVR are that we can find bespoke environments. Developers have created great environments, and we can create our own virtual environments. Those environments are safe and less anxiety provoking. They are comfortable to be in the sense that anyone using AltspaceVR can choose where to use it, when, and with whom. So actually you can have your own space and be there with the people you feel comfortable with. It's quite user-friendly in terms of using the specific platform. And of course, when it comes to learning, because AltspaceVR has been used as a platform of learning, you can have individualization, which is actually one of the very important parameters to have the best effect. So here you can see, in the next slide, you can see a few photos of some bespoke virtual worlds that you can find in AltspaceVR. And in the next slide, there are some more of them. So as you can see, in order to access AltspaceVR, you have to download it as an application, or you have to actually subscribe and have your own account on a VR headset through Oculus or other platforms. So it has some fuss in terms of actually you need to download an application. And to tell you the truth, in our first events, this is one of the piece of feedback that we got from the people that attended, that actually they had some difficulty accessing the platform because, for example, they were on Macs. So coming back to the slides, so these are some of the rest of the virtual worlds you can see in AltspaceVR, and some of the benefits that 3D environments can actually offer. They can actually stimulate users' interactivity, they can motivate them, they can enhance social interaction. Of course, the levels of co-presence and realism are greater. Even in 2D mode, you can see a 3D world, which is different compared like to the Zoom meeting we are running right now. And of course, the user has a sense of control. They actually can teleport, they can move in the 3D world. They can choose who to speak to, if they wish to speak to or not. And at any time, they can literally leave the world and the environment. Last but not least, again, in terms of learning, 3D environments have proven to improve students' knowledge. So coming back to our platform, Autism VR, we have a great vision for our channel. And I will talk about it a little bit later on. This platform can be used as many things. So it can be used as a knowledge and info space. We have already run specific workshops having speakers to talk about autism, about how autistic people actually coped during the COVID-19 period. We are planning to run focused workshops for autism communities on how to deal with autistic children or autistic adults. So actually, anyone coming and attending our events, either autistic or either a member of the autism community, which means they are part of the close or wider like circle of the autistic people. They can be psychologists, educators, family. So actually they can get extra information about things that are quite worrying to them. It can act as an entertaining space, as well as a creative and imagination space. We have already run one event that we thought that world building would be a great task for autistic people to actually take part in. So we wanted to inform them on how they would be able to build their own world. And I will talk about this later on again. So it can be a social space, meeting with peers, either autistic or non-autistic. From our feedback, we got the sense that autistic people wanted to socialize more. They wanted to be in our platform. They wanted to talk to other people. They don't care if they're autistic or non-autistic. They love socializing. Can be used as a place to collaborate and co-design in terms of the virtual reality worlds. It can be a private, controlled, and individualized space. So we plan to run private events because according to the guidelines and the ethics of the specific platform, one has to be 13 and over to access it. So if, and at the moment, our channel actually addresses people over 18. So when it comes to children 13 to 18, teenagers, and if there are people that who would like to have their children take part in specific events, we can run private events on the channel without them being recorded, so we can have total privacy. So we thought of Autism VR as a starting point of extending skills to developing private groups and customized virtual worlds. These photos come from AltspaceVR, and they are like examples of world building events or sessions that are run in AltspaceVR all these years. So in the next couple of slides, I'm just giving you an idea of my journey up to now. At the moment, I'm a PhD student at the University of Kent, and my background is in social sciences, speech and language therapy, psychology, and speech and language impairments in children. So for me, virtual reality is quite new, and I got obsessed really quickly. In the last couple of years, I have hosted and presented many events in a variety of platforms. I have to admit that the whole inspiration for this channel came from educators in VR, specifically Laurel Van Fossen and Daniel Diponsky, who are actually the founders of Educators in VR. It's another virtual reality platform talking about virtual reality in education. So I've participated in many conferences. You can see in Educators in VR, in other platforms such as Engage. On the right-hand side, students in VR present their own presentation and research all over the world. And on the next slide, recently, last June, I participated in the ILRN, in the Immersive Learning Research Network. So I was a host, and also I presented part of my research there. So you can tell different avatars, different sessions, different platforms. And on the next slide, you can see some photos of our Autism VR events. On the top left corner, I'm with Vivi in our inaugural event. And in the rest of the photos, you can see on the right-hand side, it's the house or home we actually use for our events. So we got feedback from autistic people, and some of them, I think Vivi mentioned that, that for some of them, it was the first time in like 20 years that they actually found a real home. So we had this idea of having a home because we wanted to actually foster solidarity and the sense of belonging to a group or to a family. So in the next slide, you can also see photos from our event back in August, talking about COVID-19 and family support. We had invited Hamish Study, who talked about his son and how he managed to raise awareness to all autistic children and adolescents on how to deal with COVID-19. And on the right-hand side, this is a photo from our recent Autism VR World Building event a few weeks ago. We are planning to run more of these. And the whole sense is that all people can be in the same world, and they will try and experiment with actually importing objects and trying to actually develop their own world. After the end of the event, they can go and experiment by themselves. So I believe that by the next event, some of the attendees of the event told me that they could actually go and try and build their own world. And for us, I mean, this was something this was like music to our ears to hear that they were so pleased that they could actually build something by themselves. Some of them didn't even know that they could actually build, that the platform actually provided tools to help them build their own world. So yes, in this World event, there are a few photos of objects and 3D assets that the builder imported into space. We were like in a forest, we imported our own objects, and we tried to customize them, the environment, the 3D environment. So what we plan to achieve, like through this platform, and while attending all these events, we'll try to learn how to navigate and interact in a virtual environment, how to present and moderate in VR, how to incorporate VR in daily life, how we can use it as a stress release tool, as a therapeutic tool. And this is a reality not only for autistic people, it's for everybody. How to enhance our self-confidence and self-esteem, very important. And how, of course, to use avatars as a projection of our desires and preferences. Maybe the use of avatars will help autistic people to actually reveal what exactly they feel, what exactly they want the world to be like, so everybody can enjoy and train a safe and controlled environment. So 3 key concepts here, starting with co-create, co-design, collaborate. We'll all be together in this. And actually, to make this a reality, we need 3 different parties. So, of course, at the core of this idea is the autistic users' views. That's why we always ask them for their feedback. We need the autism community, the people working or living with them or around them. And of course, there is an extended virtual reality community that are the people who actually make develop applications and make things doable and feasible through technology. So in terms of designing a virtual world environment, we need the users' views on how they want this virtual world to look like, to feel and work, because the strongest motivating factor is an enhanced and enjoyable experience. So we have, and it is our duty, that's why we keep receiving the feedback and asking the people attending the events what would make the virtual world more appealing, more user-friendly and more acceptable. And all these concepts are quite central in what we do. But what are the affordances for the autism community? All those people who actually are not autistic, but spend most of their day with autistic people. So, as I said, educators, special teachers, special education teachers, psychologists, anyone been with autistic people, they can get awareness and information across age span and across variations on the spectrum. We're going to share information in the field. We're going to inform about state-of-the-art research and applications. And any research projects or ideas already put into effect, or if any members would like to present their own ideas and initiatives, are welcome. We're open to anything new to present in order to actually find the best approaches and best approaches to communication, to socializing. And last but not least, there are some educational events and workshops around autism that we plan to run on a monthly basis, and they have to be arranged and planned to run every month by splitting. Recently, we have approached many people who would like to be part of this. So, what now? We support human communication, but we also support technology, only when and where it is effective. VR technology, according to research, can be effective with autistic people for all this that we mentioned before. So this channel is not only about autism and VR, it's about autism in VR. So the whole approach is about virtual world building skills, as well as casual meetups, as well as covering up-to-date topics and worrying issues like the COVID-19 family support back in August. We have big aspirations, but we also rely on people supporting us, on volunteers, on people who believe in this vision. So we want to democratize virtual reality. We want to have many autistic people or people from the autism communities take part in those events and support us and actually help us shape a new world, because we believe that through a virtual world probably we can generalize into a real world. Maybe we can take those great after effects to the real world. So we want to support a worldwide VR platform without any type of barriers for autism community, share knowledge and best practices to ensure the best possible approach. We want to turn VR technology into a medium of happiness and learning, and actually to empower autistic people and involve them in creating the world they want. So some core concepts that actually lead to the autistic well-being, because this is actually what everybody wants to achieve. Well-being is above everything. So individualization, participatory design, having autistic people working with us, safe socialization in a virtual reality world that we have made, that we are there, and of course boosting of the self-esteem and creativity are all concepts that we hope that they are not going to remain just concepts, but we're going to turn them into reality. And all this, of course, to the benefit of an inclusive community. So in the last slide, I've got our contact details. So the first link is the link to our AltspaceVR channel. We also have a Discord channel, which is like a key place to be informed about all events. And this is the channel's email address that you can contact us and give us feedback, or in case you want to volunteer and support us, of course, we are open to receiving emails from you. So that was all from me and Vivi. We'd like to thank you for attending, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any questions?
Hi, hello, good afternoon. My name is Consultancy. Thank you very much for the presentation. It was really good to know that someone is dealing with these questions about autism. I have a question regarding how to interact this virtual reality worlds with actual therapy like ABA or FLOR, safe, or with existing therapies for autism, even in the early phases of the children, like ABA, and I think it's FLOR time. Do you have any idea how to include these sessions in virtual reality in the sessions that people are doing in physical world? That is one of the questions.
Yes. Would you like to answer, Vivi, or shall I?
No, I think you should go for it, Anna, because of the literature that you've been engaging with.
Okay, yeah, doing my literature review on what has been happening up to now, there have been psychologists that actually have applied the CBT therapy in virtual reality environments. So the whole process actually, as it's been done like in real life, like in a psychology therapy session, they actually run the whole thing in virtual reality. And up to now, they found no big effect in terms of the results. The only advantage was that children probably felt more comfortable because actually they used an avatar, and also the psychologist was there as an avatar doing the session. So for children, adults, adolescents that actually do not prefer face-to-face communication, I think using an avatar is a good way to do those therapy sessions. But in terms of the end result, it was exactly the same. Did I answer your question?
Yes, yes, it was that my question. If someone is using already virtual reality for this kind of therapies, but in that case, it's not specific for your group. It's not in Outspace. Is with specific applications or specific developed scenarios.
No. It can be used. It can be used on any virtual reality platform. But now there is no such therapy like accredited and actually standardized to be used. So what I'm talking about, everything is at the research level. So there are scientists that have actually psychologists that have carried out research, but there is nothing that actually exists as an application, as a psychology application to simulate a real psychology session using the traditional psychology approaches in VR. So everything at this point is at the research level. And of course, all those platforms could be used to do something like this, because you can have your own world, have the people or the autistic people you want to be there and carry out your session. So it's a quite controlled environment, but nothing has happened up to now in terms of using it as a standardized application.
Yes, and just to add to that, in the channel, we are not doing anything like that. I think that's what Gonzalo was talking about. So we're not offering any of these kind of sessions. These are just things that have happened in the past in the literature. And apart from CBT, there's also literature that's talking about social interaction and how people have managed to actually have a bit like a bit of a difference on their social interaction and going through scenarios. And it's like the scripts that we use in therapy in most occasions with autistic individuals. So doing that in a VR space and in a more controlled environment where the person is actually training and interacting interacting in that safe environment, it's proven to be very good. But we are not. I think this is the important bit to say, that in our channel we haven't done anything like that, and we haven't had any sessions like that yet. We might do in the future. Who knows?
All right, I understand. So the sessions are more for hanging out and know people or teachers or psychologists or people with autism
can.
Yeah, that
it's
can
for everyone. It's
hanging
for
out.
families. It's not just the hanging out. It depends on the session. So there's some sessions that they are for hanging out and getting to know each other. The other sessions are they're very specific. So they're targeting a specific topic, like COVID-19 that we did early on last month. So there are events that we're running that they're very specific, and it might be that we're bringing in people to talk about experiences, but then we're bringing in people to talk about research or research development or anything really. So it's not just for a particular. So it's for everyone that is actually interested in autism. And would like to be informed and take things further.
All right, that's good. So how can a person help? For instance, we are building two kind of solutions that might help. One of them is a platform that can distribute content and can manage devices from the internet. So you can send any content to any device anywhere in the world in a controlled way. And another thing is we are developing also worlds for Altspace. So where can we help the community and how to get in touch?
So, Gonzalo, when you say we, who is it? Who are you talking about?
It's my startup. I'm having a startup in Cape Verde. I don't know if you know where it is. It's in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. We started this because the students here didn't have any chance to see other places, so we started this project in order to give children the possibility to know other places in the world through virtual reality. And so we are developing still the project. One of the challenges that we had was the content delivery to standalone headsets, because you need to to send content without seeing what the person is seeing. So we are developing a platform where you can manage the headsets in a room and send the content controlled by a teacher or by someone.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. In terms of supporting us, you're asking.
Yes, this platform can help you, and
as you already know, I mean, we are a voluntary group of academics and researchers at the moment running this channel. So all the people who actually help us with the world building or with the events and the moderation, they're all volunteers. I mean, we would really appreciate if you want to share with us any content that we can actually have access to, and you would like to support us. We will definitely be open to having a look at the content and even using it on our channel. There's no problem with that, because also we support an entertaining aspect of that. So like bringing assets of games in the world, like they can play some games. To tell the truth, I was interested in like puzzles and this kind of thing, and a friend of mine in USA recently started developing a VR game like this. So we are interested in anything that actually can offer pleasure and excitement. I think you should be in contact, but of course, as I told you, everything is voluntary, and actually we are not at a position to be contracted or to contract someone.
Yes, I understood that. In our development project, we right now are looking for someone who wants to try our solutions, to show to the world that the solutions work, and to build use cases and to build that kind of things. We are not charging anything for now. We want to be known, because since we are a small country in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, it's difficult to say to the world that we have here people that can do such things.
So please keep in touch, be in touch, and we can certainly host you and talk about this and how. And I think autistic individuals and the fact that there's a comorbidity of the high anxiety levels, especially now the time with COVID. So I think that your services will be very welcome.
All right, so the contacts are in the chat room, right? And I think, yes, the best way is to start participating in the meetings, right?
Yes, please.
Yes, and you can also contact us. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, you can also contact us via email, or I think that via the platform as well, and the Discord channel as well. Probably that would be a good way for you as well to promote what you're doing. Because in AltspaceVR, it might be that not as many people are might be available to attend the event, but they are all in the Discord channel.
Yeah.
All right, I will copy and paste here the contacts to my agenda, and I will keep in touch for sure. Thanks a lot.
Excellent.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Can I ask you a question? What's the target audience for Autism VR? Are they more towards autism children or autism professions? The next one will be like what's usually the program looks like. For example, like for if you are targeting the autism children, for example, like maybe first month it's more like building the world, and second month it's more like yeah, I don't know, like what's usually the therapy progress for an autism children to be a little bit normal. I know you cannot really change a person, but yeah, like what's the progress and what's the result? Yeah.
I'll start with what is normal.
Yeah, who's normal? I feel like everyone is a little weird. Yeah, and
what's normal?
who is the perfect children? Yeah, I'm just wondering.
Or individual, who's normal? Are you normal? Am I normal? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, debatable, I think. So I think that the channel is actually doing that. It's open to everyone. We are a channel for children and adults. So we are looking at the whole spectrum, if we want to call autism that. So we're looking at all ages. So we're looking at everything around autism, and the channel is open to everyone that is above the age of 18. So I'm afraid that children, they are not able to participate. However, their parents or the teachers or their environment, whoever is part of the environment and they want to learn more about it, then they are very welcome to participate. So this space is a safe space, not just for autistic individuals, but for people that want to know about autism, that work with autism, for autism, with autism. So it's all it's looking at things very holistically, I think. Anna, if you want to add anything to that.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify. I mean, I repeat myself now while talking. I said that, yeah, because we address like adults. If there are like teachers or parents, like a group of parents that have autistic children, and they would like us to set an event for them in our channel, we can set up private events with younger children and adolescents. So we are open to this. So we can run like sessions in the space. If they want to get an experience of how a virtual reality platform is, they can contact us and we can arrange that.
Can I ask you, like, what's the therapy program? For example, like first month, or like each children or each adult need to do like an assessment first, and then later on they go to your program. Like, I want to know, like, for example, like first 3 months you will get something, or you will get improve of something, and maybe after a year, like how long is your program? And then, yeah, at the end, what result you will get.
Okay, first of all, it's not an interventional program. It's not an intervention. So what we do is we would like to help autistic people feel nice, feel well. We are focused on their well-being and their mental health, and we thought that through this channel we could achieve this. So what we actually do, this is not a program, it's on a monthly basis. We have at least one speaker or one lecture that is focused on a specific topic addressed to autistic people or autism community. so they get informed, they can ask questions, and they can interact with the speaker. Or now we have incorporated the word building events, which are events focused on autistic people trying to learn how to build a virtual reality world to get the skills, and this is quite fun for them.
Oh, I
so
see.
it's not a program, an interventional program. You see what I mean? So actually this is quite exploratory, because up to now there has been no platform to host autistic people.
So,
there has been no platform in virtual reality platform.
Yeah. So there's no intervention, there's no training as such, so there's no outcome as such, apart from we're looking at quality of life and how we can improve this through the channel, and how to inform the community about autism, and how to inform professionals, parents, but autistic people themselves about services, about things that are happening in the world around autism, and inform really everyone. So this is the aim of the channel. It's not we're not running any kind of intervention. We're not running anything like that as an so to be looking for that as an outcome.
I see. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, does anyone has any question? Yeah, I mean, as for autism, for me, when I like listen to your presentation, I find out I probably had a little bit of autism, because for me, I like to speak virtually or speaking for events. I don't know. So when people see me, they feel like, oh, you are outgoing. But for me, after the speaker event, or after the like I have two modes. One is social mode. Another one is like, oh, when I just want to be alone. Just want to stay in my room. I don't want to talk to people after the events. So I feel like, yeah, everyone probably has a little bit of something that is not like in the standard. But if someone is all fits the standard, is the person becomes really, average. Yeah, because as far as I know, there are a lot of amazing leaders or inventors. They are autism. So if we are trying to make extraordinary people and make them become a little bit average, or I don't know, like if we increase their social skills, because the reason why autism, or some people like Elon Musk or someone who is extraordinary, they probably shut down some part of their life, like social or something not really meaningful social, or some parts of their life, so they can focus. Because autism kids, or someone who has kind of like autism, has like, oh, they probably doesn't want to social, and they can focus on something and make something extraordinary. So
Dominique, I think it's important for us to remember that when you've met an autistic person, you've only met an autistic person. Not every person is the same. So I think that this is what we need to keep in mind, that autistic individuals, they have the exact same needs as neurotypicals, so as people that are not autistic. And this is what we need to keep in mind, and make sure that this is what leads us to the future, and try and make environments that they're autism friendly, and making sure that we can host those autistic voices, and be able to let people be themselves, really, without without the labels, without, you know what I mean. It's about that, I think, more than anything else. It's about improving quality of life in any way we can.
I see. So more like creating like a friendly environment for autistic people.
Safe, friendly environment, autism friendly environment.
Yeah, because I know, like for example, if the environment is not safe, what will autism people feel compared to normal people feel? Because like we know that we have a lot of, like, in the reality, people will attack you online or somewhere, and then normal people probably just absorb. And what's special about autism people? Well, they kind of feel hurt, and what's their response? So like why we need to create a really safe environment for autism people specifically. Yeah, because in reality people can take it, or maybe some part of people can take it, but if we kind of put them in the bubble, well, they kind of still adapt to the world. Or is there any way for people to kind of feel safe even in the world, or take a lot of pressures from the world?
I think virtual reality is a bubble.
Virtual. Yeah, right.
Even those Zoom sessions now that you know, you're not there, you are in a kind of a bubble. Right. You know, you get control, so you get the control of not having your camera on, or so.
Oh
so
yeah, I can
get control of. No, I didn't mean that. Right. But I mean, you have control of certain situation, and this is the same with virtual reality. There's no different for autistic individuals when you compare it to neurotypicals, but it's about recognizing the needs of a specific population group. So it's the same as people with mental health needs. So why would you put them in a bubble? You wouldn't. You have you integrate them with the community. However, when you are specifically addressing people with mental health needs, then it means that you understand what these needs are, and therefore you make it safer environment. We understand each other. You understand what the needs of the person are. So in that same way, the channel is working for autistic individuals as well. So we're not really putting anyone in a bubble, because we don't have only autistic individuals. Anyone can join with an interest, but what we are trying to do is educate the audience and educate people on what autism is. It's not that different from neurotypicals. It's not that different from non-autistic individuals, to be honest.
Yes. So elaborating on what Vivi has been talking to now, imagine, I mean, autistic people spending their daily life like this. I mean, in a way that they feel intimidated of talking to other people. They feel intimidated to use the bus, or, you know, the means of transportation. Literally intimidated to get out of their house and do all these daily chores that seem quite usual and quite normal to us. Then if they are in an environment that they can actually talk whenever they want to talk, and say whatever they want to say, without being bullied, without receiving any negativism, then imagine that their psychology, their mental health, their self-esteem, how much it's going to grow. And this will have an effect on real life.
Quality of life, really.
Yeah,
sorry?
That's so true. Yeah.
Quality of life. So.
Quality of life, yeah.
Now I understand. So
Okay.
So for the autism VR, it's more like an open platform for people who are interested in autism, and then, or like people who are over 18 years old, they have autism, and they can join. And then because everyone understands, or kind of like giving people some lectures, and people feel understand, like people understand autism, so autism people will feel like they can be themselves, like in this meeting, like, and you gather each other, like more like a meeting people. Yeah, but not really like a therapy focus, like, oh, today we are going to say hi to each other, something.
No, it's not a therapy. It's not a therapy session at all. No.
Okay.
And they actually, it's quite exploratory. They actually guide us on what they want. And this is a good thing. We are together in this. They tell us what they want, and we're trying to do it so to see the way it works, you know? So they shape the way they want to be in the event. And even they have told us exactly what the virtual world they want to be like in terms of aesthetics.
Yes, and it might be a good idea to actually mention that 2 of the co-founders of the channel, they're autistic themselves. So that is that is something I think to note.
Yeah, sounds great. And then do you have any like a schedule or something that you've already shared the link for AltspaceVR channel. So you have like your event will be hosted in AltspaceVR, and what else, like Verbela or Mozilla? Like
no, I've for the moment we've set our platform as AltspaceVR. I've hosted events in those platforms, but actually they are not that accessible, and they are not, all of them are not free. You know, so in AltspaceVR, that's why we chose AltspaceVR. It's an open access platform. It has the tools we need. It gives us the freedom to carry out these sessions, and also it's called the tools we need to see the creativity out of autistic people. So for the moment, at the moment, we're going to carry out in AltspaceVR, and we have set a world building event for the 7th of October. I think anyone going to the channel, all events, earlier and future, appear on the channel. And of course, we are going out to actually advertise the new speaker for the October event.
And what's your vision for this group or this organization? For example, like 3 years, 5 years, what's your vision to grow this organization?
Shall I start? Really? Or?
Yes, if you want to.
So the thing is, to tell the truth, I expected, and I will talk in all sincerity, I expected more support from autistic organizations in UK. We have conducted all major organizations, like National Society and other societies. And to tell the truth, we expect them to promote not the channel, to promote actually the whole vision, the concept of having all those autistic people, especially now that they face very hard times, difficult times, because of isolation and lack of socialization and inclusions and seclusion. So we expected that this would be a good way to escape and to feel well and to sustain their mental health. I don't think that we got as much support as we thought. So we need, actually it takes a village, so we need support from everyone, from autistic organizations and societies, from autism communities, from anyone who is involved with an autistic individual. And unless they actually participate in an event, they can never know. Unless you actually download the application and you register for the event and you come in this event, I mean, you can't tell. So in the long run, we expect to have really age-focused groups to run, and we expect autistic people to run their own events in our channel.
So the big vision.
So we expect,
so just to aside from the support or anything, doesn't matter. I think what it matters is the support of the individuals, that they are in Altspace and they follow the channel. I think what the vision is, that because now we just founded the channel not long ago, so we're still in the first steps of this. So things like support might come along later on, but I think the vision for the future is for us to build up this community, that it will be a sustainable and strong community, that someone will be able to come in and be informed around autism in a holistic way, but also, as Anna said, for people to be able to run their own events, people to run their own focus groups, more focused groups. You know, it might be that they're particular research, like health, or you know, education. There's so many things that people are looking at. So I think that what we would want to do is grow this community and make it known to autistic individuals, and make it known to families, make it known to professionals, make it known to educators, and make it known to people that they are dealing with autism, and they have an interest in autism, in order to bring them all together and build up the community. I think this is my I think this is the channel and how we would see it progressing.
Yeah, and actually we are going to have a monthly pitch event and show your like startup or organization idea and get feedback. Are you interested in being part of the each pitch event? Like I would say start from November, like Saturday at the same time, and each startup has 5 minutes to present kind of like their ideas or like promote their organization, and we will have a bunch of people and then kind of give you opinions or some thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, we need to think about this, but you can send us over the details of the event.
Because it's on
sure.
So
yeah, sure.
I think maybe we can come as a group at the time. Maybe we can arrange and come as a group.
Yeah, because I think this is a really meaningful event, and not many people kind of take advantage of AR, VR and using autism, like helping autism people. I know that especially during COVID, a lot of people got mental problems because, for example, they are closer to their family and all the family problem shows up. Or like sometimes you just cannot go out.
Loneliness, actually.
Yeah, right.
They don't have family nearby.
Yeah,
you know,
and I think this is, I mean, I see autism people, it's really good that you take care of this group of people, but what if everyone needs this types of support, like feel safe in a virtual place, not just autism, but everyone needs this platform, right? So I don't know, like for me, I see like your presentation and I feel like, yeah, I think this is for everyone. It's not just for, you know, like autism. Like sometimes I feel like, yeah, like the reason why I have like this meetup, or later on I will join a bunch of my own group meetups, because I feel like I want to connect with people, and feel safe. And like right now, like virus, and I heard that this virus becomes like they become like mutant, and it seems like mask and wash hands couldn't help. They become even stronger, according to some news from Asia. So I feel like it's not really safe to meet in person. And during COVID time, I feel like your solution, for example, like building a real world and enhance the creativity, feel more control, and feel safe in like virtual social, like the meetup. I think this is for everyone. So that's just what I'm thinking. I think this is for me, for everyone who either have autism or they are kind of like not really being labeled as autism. I think everyone needs this types of safe place. And then
but I think that there are other channels there as well, that so AltspaceVR is running a few events, so anyone can join. It's just that this channel, it has a specific target around autism, because we are talking about we're giving information around autism, and I think that's the only reason why we this was created.
That's really good. I just sent to Anna about the pitch event. And then, yeah, anyone,
Thank you, Dominic.
yeah, sure. Anyone has any questions related to Autism VR? Okay, yeah, I think we are pretty good right now, and thank you, Anna, and then
Thank you.
yeah, and the
Vivi, yes, just
Vivi,
call
yeah,
me Vivi.
great, thank you.
My Greek name. Thank you very much for hosting us, Dominique.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Have a nice evening. Bye.
Thanks.
Yeah, bye bye.